Stephen Garcia from the great state, the Sunshine State of Florida. Hey, man.
What's up? What's up? Yeah, I got clothes on today.
Clothes on, indoors, the whole 9 yards. Hey,
That's right.
that sign behind you, that had to come from a bar. The Gamecock sign. Yeah.
I'd imagine so.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I have like 3 of them at my house.
Did you take them or were they given to you?
I no idea.
Okay.
That means that they came from the bar, and we don't know what happened during that night.
We'll stay out of that conversation.
Could have been a gift. Could have been a theft. Who knows?
Yeah. Not by you. You just found the theft.
Maybe by me too. I mean, hell, who knows?
Oh, man. All right, Stephen, 24-11 in Atlanta this past weekend. Tailgate Talks, by the way, new episode is out today. Our friend Darren Usher is in there with Stephen and Pat. Darren's a good guy. I haven't had a chance to actually watch it yet, but that is the plan a little bit later on this afternoon. So what is your broad stroke reaction to the game 1 victory?
First game, I think there's a lot of stuff to be cleaned up, but I thought the defense played extremely well. I got to give credit. I said this, with Pat the other day. Got to give credit to Virginia Tech's receivers, man. They were making some unbelievable plays. But I mean, shit, we fought well. Defensive line, I thought, played very well. Linebackers played great. I think the offense, obviously could have played a little bit better. I think LaNorris probably needs to get the ball out of his hand a little bit sooner, or maybe just take off and run. I feel like he was kind of hesitant a couple times, but first game, that's just kind of what happens. I mean, it's not like we played against a slapstick operation. We played against a pretty good Virginia Tech team.
It was a Virginia Tech team, too, that for the last 90 days or plus has listened to LaNorris, Sellers, Dylan Stewart, and South Carolina stuff. I mean, they were amped up to get. You mentioned the receivers. JC, I got to give him credit on Friday. He was all over this. These guys, he liked them. He liked that group. They were kind of patched together. I didn't love it. I thought he was maybe a little bit crazy. But they made some nice plays in that ball game, and that's something that those guys in Columbia are going to be working on this week and trying to get that adjusted. Oh, the coverage was good, but they just made the catches.
Yeah, and that's why we play the game. That's part of the game. So, yeah, I think for the most part, though, I feel definitely better about this week 1 victory as opposed to last year's week 1 against Old Dominion. So, all positive things.
Yeah, LaNorris. How about you mentioned LaNorris? I know there's a couple throws he'd like to have back. Stephen, you've been in game 1 before as a starting quarterback. You're going to miss some. It just is what it is. But overall, what'd you think about him?
Played great. Actually, I wouldn't say great. I think he played well. I think he made plays when he needed to, especially down there in the fourth quarter where he needed to keep a drive alive. He's a slippery son of a bitch, man. So yeah, I mean he played as like he should have played. I look forward to kind of seeing him kind of take over the season and the games like he did towards the end of last year.
I know there's a couple of times where he wanted, and Rob, you can jump in whenever you want to, man, but Steven and I can talk and we got usually a pretty good flow. I know there's a couple of plays, obviously, where he was trying to throw the football and he just couldn't throw the football because of pressure and sacks and things of that nature. But overall, I'm going to give you my opinion and ask you to either correct me or whatever comments you have. It is game 1, so taking that into consideration here, last year they ran the football a crap ton in game 1, and then you started seeing the ball move through the air a little bit more. I'm hoping that they will let him throw the football a little bit more than what we saw against the Hokies.
Yeah, I would hope so too. You got to keep him upright, got to keep him healthy. We're going to go as far as he takes us. I think that's pretty standard operation right now for this team. So yeah, I think keeping him healthy is got to be, priority number 1. So yeah, I'd like to see them kind of get the ball out of his hand a little bit sooner. Maybe not take a giant 5-step drop and let the pressure get to him or have some blitzes kind of affect him. So yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head.
Stephen, you kind of saw early a little bit in the game with that opening script. They did just that, got the ball out of his hand really quickly. And I think that some of the fan frustration that I hear is that the team, not even just this year, but in years past, has come out and been really effective on that opening script. And then as defensive coordinators make adjustments and offensive coordinators have to then adjust to that, it slows down. Can you talk a little bit for people about that process of trying to feel each other out from a quarterback standpoint when the defense adjusts?
I know JB knows my feelings on the script. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But sometimes it works, man. I mean, you saw what happened. Obviously, our first drive was great. You saw what happened with North Carolina Monday night. First drive, 10 plays scripted, they score. And that was the end of that. So yeah, I mean, I've never been a fan of the script. I still, for the life of me, I don't understand why teams do it or why people do it. But yeah, I don't know. I think they made, I guess when you have that script, you kind of see what the defense is getting you. I mean, I don't know why we got away from kind of the RPO and dump it off to the tight end or fullback in the flat. I feel like we could have hit that damn near every single play.
They eventually came back to it, and you could almost
eventually, yeah.
I looked around later in the second half and said, why not go back to it at this point? And it happened to be on that drive that they went with that, and ran LaNorris a little bit more too. If they would, I think mixing in that Q power is a good move. But how much do you think is running him too much to open things up? Because I do feel like when he moves, it opens some lanes up for the backs as well, and they kind of got things going.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, every defensive coordinator in the country that plays against South Carolina is going to be like, all right, watch number 16. We can tackle these other guys. Watch number 16 because he's going to beat us with his legs. And, if he gets outside, he's going to find somebody open downfield. So they're going to be watching 16 heavily. But I think you're absolutely right, man. With his ability to run and scramble, it's definitely going to open up lanes for those running backs. And you kind of saw that, in the second half. I mean, we had some pretty big runs over there.
Well, a lot of those big runs came off the perimeter. It seems like they need to attack it a little bit more.
First game, man. I mean, who knows?
Hey, look, and I want to say this too, because I'm just a guy with a microphone. Mike Shula has been calling plays for years. A lot of what they did that they threw out there on tape on Sunday, and I'm not like some people I think get too in the weeds on this. Oh, they didn't want to show anything. I don't know that I always buy crap like that. But when you got an experienced play caller like Mike Shula, who did it in the NFL, a lot of what you're putting on tape just gets added on to, right? Over the next couple of games.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we would. I mean, this is obviously Coach Spurrier, but I would assume that it's, he was kind of the pioneer of that whole operation. We have the same plays just in different formations. It's you get to a different formation by sending guys in motion or stemming to a certain formation and basically running the same stuff out of different formations. So yeah, I think the whole notion of we don't want to show anything on tape, I think that's BS.
Usually it's BS. The thing that I had just rewatching the game now 1.5 times. 1.5. I couldn't even get through a full second one. And then obviously being there in Atlanta, there were times where I felt like from a physicality standpoint, though, up front, the offensive line just got whipped. And I'm talking about all of them. I mean, they all had their moments where it just didn't look good. You know what I mean? Like those things. How do you focus on fixing those things during practice?
I don't know. That's a great question. I mean, that's why they play the game, though. I mean, you go against a guy for that many plays. I mean, you're gonna get beat. That's just part of the game. Their job. They bust their ass during practice. They bust their ass during the summer workouts. Their job is to attack the quarterback, to stop the run, to blitz. I mean, that's what they're paid to do. So, the offensive line is not going to win. It's not going to be pretty every single time. That's a hard position to play in any division of football is offensive line.
I think I have the answer, though. If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball.
Yeah. You got to get mean.
Do you guys think there's anything to be said about the lack of ability to prepare for those pass rushers? JB, you made the point that like they've been hearing about Dylan Stewart for months, but Virginia Tech's defensive front is relatively unknown. A lot of those guys were transfers from lower levels. Like obviously you can dig and find tape, but it's not really comparable to what they're seeing at this level of football. Is there anything to be said of like, we don't know what they're going to scheme? Who's really the guy that they're going to send? I mean, their highest graded PFF pass rusher from last year was like at Eastern Michigan or something. So some of these guys are just relatively unknown commodities.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of the pressure actually came from the linebacking core, their best players on defense are the two returning linebackers. They were their top two tacklers last year. These kids can play. So I'll give them, I'm going to give them a little bit more credit on this. But obviously, luckily, Steven, they got South Carolina State. No disrespect to the Bulldogs coming up this weekend. Carolina should be able to handle their business there. We've got to see Nick Harbor for the first time. You've been singing his praises for a while now. I know that when I say, what's your reaction? Oh man, he's awesome. That's pretty simple. But from watching the fundamentals as a wide receiver, watching his fundamentals as a wide receiver out there, where'd you see the biggest improvement?
Oh, I think it's night and day. I think all of it. Obviously, he had that one drop on that crossing route early in the game, or that little drag route. But for the most part, man, I mean, he was working the sideline, toe tapping, catching everything with his hands. I thought he looked the part, man. I thought his from last year to that first game was night and day different. He looked the part, like he looked like a receiver.
The throw that Sellers threw to him in the end zone that was a touchdown that got overturned, that ball was put on the money. I mean,
I have to disagree. I disagree.
Really? Okay.
Everybody keeps saying it was a great throw. It was behind him. It was a corner route, and he had to turn around and come back like this. He could have thrown that, and I think he knows this. I think he could have thrown that like a half a second earlier to where he catches it over his shoulder. The defender can't, knock it out last second. When you got to turn back and get the ball towards the defender, I mean, their job is to kind of punch it out. So I don't think that he did. I think that should have been a touchdown, but you kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you rewatch that game, if he takes that snap, catch, grip, rip, he's out there, and we ran that play all the time. I think we called it corkers, but yeah, we have that slot guy in a 3-by-1, and he runs a little, like a faded corner route. You put that thing over your shoulder, he catches it back pylon, one toe tap in, you're done, touchdown. So when everybody's like, oh man, that was a money throw, I was like, bullshit.
I'm glad you said that. See, I'm just an idiot with a microphone. That's why we have guys like you on. So I won't say that again.
I'm sure I'll catch a bunch of hell for that.
Well, but not really. Why? I mean, you trained these guys, right?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, I know, but people are like, oh, how you're just a bitter ex quarterback. No. Trust me, I get all sorts of shit talk nowadays. I love it though.
There's a guy out there that wants to kill me. Luckily, I didn't run into him in Atlanta this weekend. There's enough dudes that I walked by in Atlanta that could have killed me. This guy was
out.
I didn't need to see this guy. All right, let's take.
But that being said, but to answer your question, I don't know how that's ruled an incompletion. To this day, I don't understand.
It's the rule. It's not the call. Obviously, they got the call right because you have to possess it to the ground. But the whole point with that play is he had possession 2 feet in bounds, and then he stepped out of bounds. It's it. When you step out of bounds,
it's over.
It's over. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't either. They need to change the rule. Like, they could change the rule right now.
Yeah,
and they've chosen. I mean, but they'll let enough games get screwed this year because of it, and then they'll look at it in the offseason and they'll put out some fluffy statement and they'll change it. And Ohio State will go win the national championship again. All right, final thoughts so we can get you out of here, man. Obviously, the Bulldogs coming up. Vanderbilt is coming in next. They got some bang ups. They got to try to get healthy. The edge position, they're getting a little thin there. Gonna need to get healthy. But overall, Steven, what are you most looking forward to seeing this week?
I mean, I just hope everybody stays healthy. I hope these guys kind of kick their ass in the first half, let the backups play the second half, and get a bunch of game reps, some live reps, and get ready to lock in for Diego coming to town. He's got South Carolina circled on his calendar, so I don't know if that was a wise thing for him to do, but I kind of like his little shit talking a little bit. I gotta respect it.
It is certainly creating a little bit more mojo, if you will, around that game. Diego Pavia, LaNorris, Sellers. We should get a TV designation on it by Sunday, either ESPN or the SEC network.
Nice.
Steven Garcia, our quarterback. Good to see you, man. Enjoy it out there today. We'll see you next week.
Likewise, man. Appreciate you, man. I thought I wanted to say one thing about the Alabama game, man. That had a 9-legger, man, and they're the one team that destroyed it.
Steven, they don't look tough.
No, and I was talking with AJ McCarron about it, and he's like, dude, Saban would have kicked these guys off the field after one play. Just seeing the lackadaisical, the softness. He's like, it's tough to watch.
Yeah, I was watching some replays on, I think maybe Twitter or something the last couple of days. Guys just kind of loafing around to the ball.
Oh,
Like
that's not
that
the
is-
Alabama that everybody knows.
dude.
So that's good for us, though, man. That's real good for us when they come to town.
Yeah, it's a great sign. Might be maybe we'll just go ahead and put that in the win column. I did, Rob. I was walking out of the ballpark the other day, and this cat in front of me was walking around with a Garcia jersey on. So I took a picture, texted Steven. I said, "Legends never die, man."
It's funny, man. I saw a few people that sent me texts that had like a Garcia 5 jersey, and I was like, that's hysterical.
Yeah,
That puts you in Vic territory because that's all that the other side was wearing. So just consider yourself in that high honor.
That's pretty cool.
The last time this program played in Atlanta, you were the quarterback. That was the Peach Bowl.
Oh yeah, no, remind me.
Yeah, you know,
Who happens?
It does happen. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Well, cool. I'm gonna go warm up and get my arm ready to rock and roll.
You got it. Thanks, man. See ya, Stephen Garcia. All right. Game Day Nuts. GameDayNuts.com.